Hi everyone, it's Kayla from Kayla's Cricut Creations, and today I'm going to give a step-by-step beginner tutorial on how to use printable heat transfer vinyl on a shirt. Here's what the shirt looks like already done. The HTV I'm using is Tech Wrap Craft brand, and they have actually upgraded this from what they used to sell. Their upgrades include it having brighter colors, it's stretchable and durable. I have never tested out their old printable HTV, but I have used other brands where it has flaked even after one wash. So I'm really excited to test this out today, and I will do a wash test as well. Here's what the packaging looks like. It comes with 15 sheets. It's called dark inkjet heat transfer paper, but it can be used on dark or light color fabrics, so that's nice. It is suitable for cotton poly blends, but it does have to have 30% cotton content or more, so just FYI. You can use this on lots of blanks besides shirts, like hats, bags, aprons, pillows, things like that. I also read on their website you can color in an outline of an image on this HTV with like wax crayons, markers, or colored pencils. So I thought that was really interesting. Let me know if you want to see me test that out. It sounds fun. It comes with instructions, which is really nice, and it even shows the temperature and time to set your heat press to. I just grab one sheet here that I'm going to be using, and what's cool is they give you a couple pieces of parchment paper to use as well. Another thing that I really like is their logo is on the backing of the paper, so you know which way to print. You want to print on the blank side, and that makes it so much easier. Now I'll go over to Cricut Design Space and I'll show you how I grab my image. I'm in Cricut Design Space and I am going to use a Cricut image, so I'll go over to Images, and I already found the one I want to use, so I copied the number, so I'm just going to paste that into the search bar and hit enter. I'm using a Rapunzel image. Cricut Design Space has several Disney images. You do usually have to pay for it, even if you do have Cricut access, because that's what Cricut and Disney kind of came up with their contract. I actually can't remember how much I spent on it, but I think it was like $1 or something like that. So I'll hit the plus sign and then go back into my canvas. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. I really loved this image, especially since it's so colorful, and I just feel like Tangled is kind of an underrated Disney movie. I love Tangled, and my 6-year-old daughter loves it as well, so I'm making a shirt for her. The size shirt that I'm using is a size youth extra small, and typically I would do about 7 inches for the width, but since it's a longer design, I think I'm going to do 6 inches for the width. And that makes it about 8.7 inches for the height. There's really not too much else I have to do in Cricut Design Space. There are several layers here, so I do need to flatten it. And now I can click Make It. I'll hit Continue. Then I'll select Send to Printer. I'm going to turn my bleed off and turn my system dialog on. You can leave the bleed on. I just feel like it's not going to do too much for this image. And I'll hit Print. If this screen doesn't come up, try moving your design space down. Sometimes it shows up behind it. I have it to set to Print in Color. And I'm going to go to my Media and Quality, and I want to make sure I select Best. Then I can hit Print. You can only use this with an inkjet printer. I am using my Epson Workforce. I've had this for several years. I get a lot of questions which printer I'm using, and the model number is discontinued, but they do have several other newer models of it. I like it. It is very big though, so it does take up space. Here's what it looks like after it's been printed, and it looks like the colors are nice and vibrant. For my cut setting, I'm going to choose Printable Vinyl White Gray Liner Printing. I place it on my cutting mat. I'm using my green one. I feel like this paper is a little bit thicker, so that is a good mat to use. The Cricut will read the registration lines, then it will cut around the design. When it's done, I just weed out the design, and that cut setting was perfect because it just weeded out so well for me. If you have multiple pieces, I'm actually not sure if they have like a carrier sheet type of thing to go with this. I might have to try to reach out and ask them, or you can pick it up and place it down yourself. I'm using my HTV Rond AutoPress. I plug it in, then I set my temperature and time. The temperature they recommend is 329. This one rounds up to 330, so I use that, and the time is 25 seconds. It'll start heating up, and while it's doing that, I get my t-shirt ready so that I can preheat it. I'm using a Gildan t-shirt that I bought from Michaels. It's 90% cotton and 10% polyester. I'm doing my favorite little trick here. I'm folding my t-shirt in half. Once I do that, I place it on the heat press and I preheat my shirt. On TechWrap's website, in all caps, it says preheat shirt, so don't skip this part. I place it into my AutoPress and I let it preheat for just about 5 seconds. When it's done, I just press any button to make sure that it lifts up. As you can see, it creates a crease, so I know exactly where the center of my shirt is. I move the collar back a little bit so it's off of the heat plate. I just try to have the least amount of seams as possible. Now I'm ready to remove my image off of the paper, and one thing that's cool about printable heat transfer vinyl, you don't even need a Cricut machine, you just need a printer and some type of heat source, because you can just take scissors and cut it out as well. I line the image up on my shirt, then I grab parchment paper and place it on top. I press the A button so it'll automatically start pressing when I push the tray in. So I press that in, and as you can see, my heat plate presses down onto the shirt. It will press for the full 25 seconds. When it's done, it will automatically lift up, and then I can just move the tray out. My parchment paper got stuck, so I just grabbed my heat resistant gloves to grab it out of there. It is done. It looked like it pressed down really well. I am going to do a wash test and then I'll show you a final look. So it is the next day. You want to wait at least 24 hours to wash your shirt. Whenever I'm washing any type of heat transfer vinyl, I like to flip my shirt inside out because I do feel like that helps protect it a lot. I'm just using my regular detergent. Then I set my washer to delicates, and I set it to light because it's just one shirt and I have it on cold. It's done. Let's take it out and see how it looks. I also don't dry this. I hang it up to dry. You can put it in the dryer, but just make sure you put it on low heat. The shirt's a little wrinkled after being in the washer, and you can see those little wrinkle folds in the image. I'm going to let the shirt dry and I'll show you how it looks once it's done. I let the shirt hang dry, and then I decided you might want to see what it looks like after I put it in the dryer. So I do wash this one more time and I'll show you in a minute. But here's what it looks like. Those wrinkles came out as it was air drying, and the colors are still nice and vibrant. And what I was the most excited about is there's no cracking at all. It feels nice and smooth still. Here I'm washing this one more time. I turn it inside out, and this time I just set it to my regular cycle. I don't put it on delicate. I thought I would just give that a try. When it was done, I took it out of the washer, and what was really weird is it wasn't inside out anymore. So I have no idea how the washer switched it from being inside out, but I guess we're testing it not being inside out too. I place it in the dryer, then I set it to low, and then for my time, I put it in there for 40 minutes. Here's what it looks like after being in the dryer, and it looks so great as well. I'll have a link for the printable HTV in my description box. I also have a code always with TechWrap, so you can use that too. And I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and I would also love it if you subscribed if you are new to my channel.